Hey guys, Suntouch here with a how-to build guide. Today we will be focusing on Agni. The starting build you should be using for Agni in the current meta is Vampiric Shroud, Tiny Trinket, 2 health potions and 1 ward. 2 health potion gives you enough sustain for the early game in trying to get your boots online, and the ward is going to help you and your teammates see the rotations early game. Tiny Trinket transitions into your Bancroft's Talon for your core build, and Vampiric Shroud gives you enough sustain for mana, therefore not needing any mana pots in the early game. Your core build should be Shoes of Magi, which give you a lot of penetration and damage. You don't really care about the mana too much, but it will help you out a little bit in poking with your 2 and your 1. Bancroft's Talent, which gives you a lot of power. It also helps with Agni because typically when you're low HP on Agni you can get your damage off, which means the passive for this item, you gain 1 additional magic power for every 1% of your missing health. You can really utilize this with this character. The third thing is Spear of Magus. This is going to be giving you a passive, which almost gives you true damage on this character. Very easy to stack up with your passive, very easy to stack up with your free, and all your abilities alone really synergize well with this item and give it a lot of oomph and make your abilities hit like a truck. Now the next 3 items you can build in almost any order, but I would recommend trying to get Chronos Pendant in the first 2, so you can either go Chronos Pendant into Book, into Rod, but try and get Chronos Pendant in one of these 2 slots. For this example we have gone Book of Thoth into Chronos Pendant into Rod, because Book of Thoth gives you a lot of power, and we already have a lot of penetration, so we just need some power on top of this to really give our character a lot of damage in the team fights. And Rod of 2D last item is always great pickup. It gives you a lot of a big like power spike going into the late game, so try and pick that up. It gives you an additional 25% damage power, sorry. So yeah. Defensive items you may want to look at picking up if you are struggling to stay alive in the mid lane are Ephor's Staff and Breastplate of Valor. Breastplate of Valor is a great item. Sorry, we had this in the wrong order right now. But the Breastplate of Valor is a great item against some characters like Loki, for Fenrir, those kinds of hyper carry assassins that really one-shot mages. So if you're struggling to stay alive, instead of picking up Chronos Pendant, pick up the Breastplate of Valor. Very cheap, very cost efficient, gonna help you stay alive and actually deal damage. Ephor's Staff is an awesome item against characters like Circuit, and against characters that don't deal percentage-based damage really. So you don't want to pick it up against Nemesis, you don't really want to pick it up against Geb. But against Circuit it's great, as her ulti deals true damage, and if you have 600 health and she does 570 true damage, you've negated it by buying this item. So it's a pretty good pickup. I would recommend replacing Book of Thoth for the Ephor's Staff if you do plan on building it. And trying to stay away from Warlock Sash 5th or 6th item, as it takes a long time to stack up. Whereas we don't really care about the Book of Thoth stacking because it only gives you 22.5 power, and you're going to gain that throughout the game. Okay. As far as actives goes, I recommend Greater Purification Beads and Combat Blink on this character. Purification Beads are just a fundamental on any mid-god. No matter what their lineup is, just build this item. Second thing is Combat Blink. I like this item because it gives you a little bit of flexibility. You can buy Blink early, make some aggressive blinks, make some defensive blinks, transition it into Combat Blink a lot later. So I don't want to see people rushing Combat Blink before 20 minutes. Try and get Blink 1 or 2 until 20 minutes time, and then transition into that Combat Blink at about 30 minutes when you really want to just get out of that fight, okay? And how to level Agni, it's pretty simple. You want to be maxing your 2 in the early game. But the leveling order basically goes 4, 2, 3, 1. However, something to note is starting off with your dash, because it does the most damage on the camps, and also it's going to help you clear that first wave very nicely. If you look at my Agni guide, which will be coming soon, I'll show you exactly how this works. But sometimes against certain characters you might actually want to level your 2 first. For example, Isis. Isis has been running Blue Pot, and this means if you dash the wave, Isis will come in, suddenly clear the wave with her Wind Gust, and then you'll be under a lot of pressure with the Spirit Ball and such, okay? So be very careful leveling the dash first and dashing the wave like a crazy madman. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this guide on how to build Agni. As a quick side note on the end here, sometimes you may want to build Aegis level 3 instead of Combat Blink. but never instead of beads. So if they have a lineup such as Poseidon, maybe even Alquang, Ares, these kinds of characters that really CC you and you can dodge them with your beads or your Aegis. It's a great pickup as well instead of Combat Blink, as Combat Blink will probably not save you from an Ares pool. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and there'll be plenty more to come.